Hey everyone, today we'll be reviewing the CR72 Standard Operative, a Nader loadout. This version I have is in bronze, but don't be surprised if you come across one of higher rarity. For those who are unfamiliar, the first 4 characters of this loadout will tell you what weapons this card has. So the CR is for the Krotzny, the 7 is for the Kalden semi-auto pistol, and 2 is for the stiletto knife. Now, it being a bronze loadout card, you do get 3 augments for Nader, so we have double time, focus, and cool. For this loadout, the primary weapon is the Krotzny SMG, one of my personal favorite weapons in Dirty Bomb. The weapon just feels great when you're using it in game. You get a maximum damage of 12 damage to the body, which translates to 24 damage headshots. The rate of fire is at a decent 651 RPM, and with this damage model, it makes the Krotzny one of the highest DPS or damage per second SMGs in the game. Next up, you have the Kalden semi-auto pistol. You get 19 damage per bullet, which is 31 damage to the head. Max rate of fire is 361 RPM. The magazine size is pretty small, coming at 7 rounds, and the reload time is 1.3 seconds. As I mentioned in a previous review, I don't really like this pistol too much. The spammability of the weapon plus the low magazine size really holds it back if you're in a situation where you have to rely, 100% on your pistol. It's half decent for, the usual finisher weapon in a duel, but don't expect too much out of this pistol. The stiletto is our melee weapon for this loadout, and I just want to say that in my previous videos, I made the mistake of thinking melee weapons do headshot damage. From some testing with Renpsy, who also does Dirty Bomb videos, check him out, we found that there are no headshot multipliers when you do meleeing to the head, at least from what we could see. Instead, however, it seems you do more damage when you do the quick knife function versus just taking the knife out and then left clicking manually. The definition of quick knifing that I'm going to use for Dirty Bomb would just be clicking the middle mouse button for that stabbing knife attack. By the way, a quick commercial break for you guys. I came across this when searching for Dirty Bomb headshot multipliers and stuff on Google. Apparently, dirty headshot means the act of having sexual intercourse, and moments before busting your load, you run into your roommate's bedroom and blow a ferocious load, note the ferocious keyword there, in his face and yell, "Boom, headshot." Well, that's just fantastic. That may explain why I don't have any roommates. Gotta love Urban Dictionary. So anyways, where was I going with this, guys? That's right, melee weapons. So if you quick knife with the stiletto, that will do 90 damage, and if you just take the knife out, then left click, we'll call it swiping for simplicity's sake, that will do 35 damage. At 90 damage per quick knife, you can one-shot a lot of the squishier mercs, granted if you catch up to them and perform the animation. Moving on to the augments, you get 3 with this loadout. The first one is double time, probably one of my favorite perks because it allows you to reload while sprinting. As you may know in Dirty Bomb, you can't reload while sprinting. If you try to sprint in the middle of a reload, it'll cancel that reload. And let me just say here, I am so used to this mechanic now that whenever I use this loadout, it takes me a few minutes for me to remember that I can run while reloading. But all in all, I would say it's a very useful perk for those who like to run and gun. Next up we have Focus, which apparently reduces the flinch by 50% when aiming down sights, or ADS. I don't know how useful this is because ADS is so situational in this game, and I actually did some comparison tests with or without this perk, and as you can see in the footage, I don't think there's a huge difference between with or without the Focus perk. I'm wondering if this is a bug, across a bunch of these perks, because this is probably the 3rd time in a row a perk doesn't work correctly. I don't know, I just feel like 50% while taking damage would probably reduce the flinch a lot more than what you're seeing here. I don't know, who knows, maybe by the time you guys are watching this it would have been fixed, but at the time of making this video it doesn't seem to be making that much of a difference. Last and maybe least, we have Cool. I would have to say this is probably one of my least favorite perks. On paper, it's supposed to let you hold down the trigger on the MG for an extra 50% duration before it overheats, but I find the perk pretty lackluster. I ran some comparison tests with and without the perk, and this is what we have. As you can see, it sort of overheats at the same time with or without the Cool perk. Like I said earlier, if this is a bug, I'm sure by the time you guys watch this, it may be already fixed, so who really knows. But honestly guys, even if the difference is large, I don't see myself personally full autoing the MG for very long. When using an MG, I quickly get on it, get a few kills, then jump off before I get sniped. You know, using the MG will make you incredibly vulnerable, so I wouldn't advise staying on it for too long. That, plus the fact that it seems like the MG takes a while before it overloads or overheats. The situations where you'll be full autoing to the point of overheating, that just seems so rare to me. You know, I don't find this perk very useful at all, but hey, maybe if you're an MG nut out there and you just love this mounted machine gun so much, you know, maybe you'll find this perk useful. Overall, I have mixed feelings on the CR72 Standard Operative loadout for Nader. On one hand, I love the weapons, you know, overall, in general. Krotzen and the Stiletto, they're fine. However, the augments are a little lacking in my opinion. While I do love double time, I'm finding that focus and cool, they kind of have little use for the way I play Nader. I would love to have seen something like bigger blast, maybe add a little bit more AoE on the grenade launcher, or maybe even something like unshakable to protect myself from other explosions, but overall, because Nader is so strong as a merc by herself, just looking at this loadout in comparison to like some of the others, I wouldn't say this is like the worst loadout out of the bunch. Definitely not unusable by any means. I mean, if this is the only 3 augment card you have for Nader, you know, just go ahead and use it. There's definitely worse ones out there. Anyways guys, I hope you found this review informative. Please remember to like this video, it really helps me out, and also hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my content. I'll see you guys around.